My name is Hector Gomez, and my presentation is about the business culture in Spain. About the different cultures in Spain is first the greeting. In a formal business setting, always remember to shake hands with the person. You always introduce one another using your first name. And if you're ever walking into a room full of people, always assure that you go up to each person, introduce yourself, and shake hands. Make sure to make eye contact and keep eye contact. Introducing yourself kind of shows it's kind of a formality and just shows that you're serious about business. Family is very important in Spain, especially during these times where the economy isn't doing so well and everyone just kind of relies on one another. Extended family is kind of like the safety net of another family in case money is a shortage. Women are beginning to work and are being seen more in the field, especially working as maids, teachers, nurses. Also, machismo is still a way of thinking that many males in Spain actually still believe, and they just kind of believe that women are inferior to men. Siesta time is actually something that's very important in Spain. It's kind of like our lunch break, and Spaniards usually use this to go home and eat, kind of go out to restaurants and get your mind off work for a little bit. So these tends to be from around 2 to 5, so around the 3 hour gap. Um, and normally they try to Spaniards try to stay away from doing work during that time because it's kind of like their personal time and time to get some rest before working long into the night, which is sometimes around 10 or even as late as midnight. Social classes in Spain, the upper class usually consist of Europeans from other countries, and these could be countries such as the United Kingdom, France, Germany, and it mostly consists of the businessmen in Spain. The middle class is typically the hardworking Spaniards, and also just the Spaniards that get help from the government as well. The lower class tends to be the refugees from Syria, and also the immigrants that come from Spain that's bordered by the south. So this is more people from Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and just other immigrants that flood from Latin America as well. Politics and religion, these are two very big issues and are very prevalent to the Spanish society. As you can see on the top left image, those are the two flags of two autonomous regions of Spain. So one is the Basque flag, the other one is the Catalonia flag. These two regions business practices are exactly the same. The only difference that they have is that they have their own tongue, and it's very important to know that these tongues don't derive from the Spanish language. They're their own independent languages, and the business customs there are just exactly the same as the rest of Spain. Most Spaniards get their political or any information of what's going on in Spain through radio, whether this be in your car, in your office, or at home. The biggest religion in Spain is Catholicism, and there are many Spaniards that actually still practice it or even consider themselves Catholics. And it's just the biggest religion in Spain, other than Islam as well. Spanish businesses. So the Spanish economy, think of um, Ireland, Greece, and Portugal combined and multiplied by two, and just that's how big the Spanish economy is. They're big car part experts and car themselves. Technology is also just a big factor in Spanish business just because of how big the country is. So it's pretty important to communicate with one another via telephone, computer, etc., just because of how much time could be wasted actually getting from one side of the country to the other. So for my conclusion is that Spanish views on Americans, according to one girl here in Sweden that I interviewed, she thinks Americans are very capitalistic and materialistic. Um, and while that may be true, um, they're just not used to the customs that we are as well. Um, Also, siesta is just an important thing to remember. Take into account that when making business siesta, make sure you don't call during those hours. Try to do business during those hours because it's just their break from work. And that's all I have. So just take into account that this culture is different than ours, and they have their own specific way of doing it. All right, thank you guys.